When the frost settles over the ground and limbs the windows, when the sky fills with fat white flakes, and when a crackling fire and a hot chocolate are the only things which can keep you warm, there's nothing better than curling up with a great book. Of course, it can be challenging to find a book which matches your mood, particularly if you're hoping for a read which will align well with Silent Night or All I Want for Christmas. Thankfully, I have 4 recommendations. While these 4 fantasy books aren't necessarily Christmas-themed throughout their entirety, all feature some aspect of the holidays, whether it be gift-giving or Santa himself. Plus, each has a whimsical tone which is well-suited to the holidays. Before we continue, I'm Riley and this is Otherworldly Fiction. On this channel, I rant about books, discuss characters and lore, offer my bookish opinion, and share the odd writing advice. If any of this sounds like your cup of hot chocolate, hit that subscribe button. Posts are on Fridays. The holidays are a time for gingerbread, candy canes, mistletoe-adorned mantles, and, if you're like me, a festive book. Here, then, are 4 books which are sure to boost your jolly vibe. Number 1. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. When it comes to fantasy books, it doesn't get much more wintry than this most famous of Narnia entries. While Narnia is a part of a series, this second book, chronologically, in Lewis's series can also be read as the first. Moreover, it functions well as a standalone story, with great characters, a satisfying conclusion, and, of course, a cameo from the jolly elf himself. Most of the book, of course, takes place beneath a blanket of snow. Descriptions of snow and frost-lined trees make it easy to embrace the holiday mood. Narnia also features illustrations, pictures which recall classic fairy tales and childhood bedtime stories. Even Mr. Tumnus, with his bright red scarf, feels like something out of a Christmas story. Finally, there's the chapter featuring Santa himself. Promising an end to the White Witch's power and validating Lucy's belief in magic, Santa is a perfect reminder of our childhoods and how magical those times were. All in all, you can't get more festive than a book which features Santa Claus as a prominent supporting character. Plus, this book may have just contributed to my wish that Santa would gift me with a badass sword. Hence, all the plastic blades I brandished throughout my childhood. Book number 2, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Technically, all of the Harry Potter books make for perfect holiday reads. While Harry Potter is a great series to read in the fall, with its depiction of ghosts, live bats, giant pumpkins, and a Death Day party, the Christmas holidays are given no less prominence throughout the books. Each book, even the last, features a so-called Christmas episode, a scene or string of scenes in which the characters experience Christmas. If Hogwarts does Halloween well, it does Christmas even better. Whether it's singing suits of armor, giant trees lining the Great Hall, golden bubbles for ornaments, or caroling ghosts, there's nothing like a wizarding Christmas to put a reader in the mood. Christmas with the Weasleys is also satisfying. After all, who doesn't smile every time Ron is gifted with another maroon jumper? Enjoying the Christmas segments of the Harry Potter books almost makes one feel they are part of the Golden Trio's festivities, or a member of the Weasley family. After all, which of us wouldn't accept a homemade sweater made by Mrs. Weasley? Plus, the presents the characters receive are iconic in themselves, whether it be his father's invisibility cloak or a pair of socks custom made by Dobby. Harry's presents are always a treat to read about. Of course, if, for whatever reason, you only have time for one Potter book, Goblet of Fire is your best bet for holiday fun. The Goblet of Fire features the Triwizard Tournament, which in turn necessitates the Yule Ball. The Yule Ball, too, is as action-packed as any of the 3 tasks. Harry asks his first girl out, only to be turned down. Hermione experiences her first date, Hagrid, crushing on Madame Maxime, makes a big confession. All the characters cut loose, enjoying a dance or drinking, and the decorations, while always beautiful, are taken to a new level. Even Harry, who's experienced several Hogwarts Christmases by this point, notices the attention to detail, whether it be the new dishes being prepared or the icicles streaming from the ceiling. The Yule Ball encourages a Christmas unlike Hogwarts has seen or will see again. Finally, with its cozy themes of friendship and fun, the Harry Potter series in general just complements the holidays well, and Goblet of Fire, as one of the longer books, packs in plenty of what makes the series so fun to cuddle up with. Book number 3, A Court of Frost and Starlight. There's only one problem with this book. It relies on the reader having read the first 3 A Court of Thorns and Roses books. Of course, this doesn't have to be a problem for long. The holidays are as good a time as any to cross books off your TBR, and the ACOTAR series should be a serious consideration for all fans of fantasy. However, if you've read the first 3 books, now's as good a time as any to read the 4th. In fact, the 4th book, deviating from the first 3 in that it's a Christmas-themed slice of life, is actually best read during this time. As the 3rd book concludes its arc, it might even be worth waiting to pick the 4th entry up, as it's more of a cozy fantasy than an actual plot-driven continuation. Moreover, if you have read it and just fancy spending more time with your favorite characters, why not read it again? There's nothing wrong with making a point each year of hanging out with Feyre, Rysand, and the rest of the crew we've grown to love. The book doesn't use the word Christmas, of course, but it's obvious that Christmas is the holiday the characters are celebrating, with chapters devoted to gift exchanges, walks through snow-lined streets, and a found family bonding amidst decorations of greenery and Yule logs. This book is one of the most Christmassy on the list, outdoing even Narnia or Harry Potter with its festive vibes. Not everyone appreciates a Christmas episode, but seeing the characters, after the hardships they've endured, being given space to have fun, pursue their dreams, and just be themselves is rewarding. After the trauma they've faced, they've earned this holiday, and this book highlights what the characters, in facing their struggles, are actually fighting for. Book number 4, A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol isn't just a great book to read at Christmas. It's the great book to read at Christmas. It doesn't feature Santa Claus or reindeer per se, but it takes place at Christmas, exploring all the themes which become most relevant to us during these times. Despite taking place in the 1800s, A Christmas Carol remains as relevant and entertaining as ever. Its themes are timeless, its characters believable, and its study of Scrooge fascinating. The big question, then, isn't whether you're familiar with the story, but whether you've read the book which started it all. Many are nervous about delving into classical literature, as the writing style or period addressed can be confusing to the uninitiated. But A Christmas Carol, I'm happy to say, is one of the most accessible books among the classics. It's one of the more accessible of Dickens' works, too. Charles Dickens, as a result of penning this Christmas classic, has become almost synonymous with the holidays. When people hear his name, they instantly picture carriages trundling through the snow, people in top hats crowded around Christmas trees, and a Tiny Tim limping along using his cane. Many of Dickens' books are doorstoppers. Even his classics, like David Copperfield or Great Expectations, can be challenging for modern readers. A Christmas Carol, however, is relatively short compared to his other books. Instead of diving into lengthy descriptions or juggling dozens of characters, it is quick and to the point, focusing mainly on Scrooge, with some exploration of his family and the family he supports, the Cratchits, It's a focused read, short and sweet. The quintessential fantasy Christmas read, A Christmas Carol is a book you need to read if you've enjoyed the tale. Plus, if you're a dedicated Dickens fan, A Christmas Carol isn't even the only holiday-themed book the author has penned. After A Christmas Carol, he'd go on to pen 4 more books. The Chimes, a goblin story of some bells that rang an old year out and a new year in, The Cricket on the Hearth, a fairy tale of home, The Battle of Life, a love story, and The Haunted Man and the Ghost's Bargain, a fancy for Christmas time. Though not as famous as A Christmas Carol, these 4 books offer Dickens fans a chance to continue their holiday-themed binge. Knowing he wrote 5 Christmas books in total, having Dickens be synonymous with Christmas doesn't even feel like much of a stretch. In conclusion, if you're a bookworm, the holiday season isn't complete without a good book, especially one that's heartwarming. With the conclusion of fall, we turn away from the ghouls and thrillers, though maybe not the ghosts, and seek out stories which are uplifting, fun, and thoughtful. Whether these are books we read every year, or books we've yet to experience, having the best books to get you through the darkest nights of the year are critical. Finding books that are fun, as well as festive, can be challenging, but it's my hope for those fantasy fans out there that these 4 books will be able to complement your jolly mood. Whether it be wizard balls, Christmas ghosts, friends exchanging gifts, or Santa himself, there is something in each of these stories to make us feel cozy. So go grab a cup of eggnog and curl up with a novel. Which of these books have you read? Are there any you'd like to read again? Can you recommend other holiday-themed books which have earned a spot on this list? Let me know in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and happy reading.